Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, and it is Tuesday morning transformation, and it is definitely time for a mindset shift with all the things that are going on in the world today that are changing over and over. So here's the question for the day. Where do I find God? Where do I find God? We're going to go through 5 steps, so hang all the way till the end. Hey, this can be a question that many people ask themselves, especially in today's world. Many times throughout my life, even though I was raised spiritually based and in religion, I thought many times, God, I don't hear your voice. What am I supposed to do? And especially in today's world, when there seems to be so much confusion and contradiction and even perceived deception and progressive loss of freedoms, man, there's so much noise on the outside that it's already been shown that many Americans are seeking God online. More Americans, 40% more Americans are seeking God online because there's so much stress and so much uncertainty outside that we're actually seeking grounding on the inside. And even people that believe they are faithful, you ask yourself that question, man, how do I get through this situation? God, let me feel your presence and guidance, strengthen me and show me the right path. So how do you find the presence of God when there's so much noise on the outside? How do you find God's presence in all this mess? Well, the reason I'm giving this today is because of my book and what we do, Spiritually Based Life Coach. I get people asking me this question. What do I do? How do I find guidance? What am I supposed to do? Everything around me is changing. How do I get rooted? So when people look outside them and they realize what's outside of them is too great to bear, too great to carry on their shoulders, then they turn inside. Deepak Chopra says when people turn to spirituality when they get tired of suffering. Isn't that the truth? Man, sometimes like when everything outside is too much, then what do? We look up, right? Sometimes when they're bottom of the barrel, there's only one way to look, and that's up at the light. From the famous words of Bono from U2, if you want to touch the sky, you better get on your knees, right? And that's really what this is about. Yet emotional challenges really give us clarity on who we are, what matters to us, what our core values are, and what's really the most important thing in our life. Hey, when COVID hit, my mom is 84 now, my dad's 89. And when COVID hit, all of a sudden they were scared. So my mom didn't want to see us. I would go to Vegas. She'd be in the house. I'd be outside. I'd have to talk to her through a screen door like, Mom, I'm a doctor. If there's a virus around here, it can get through the screen, but whatever. She wanted to feel safe. My dad didn't want to see us anymore. I didn't see my dad for a year and a half. And then recently, my mom, gave up on that first. And finally, being an Italian, affectionate family, my mom said, you know what? Forget it. Because what mattered to her more? Hugging her kids. And so she's like, forget it. I'm 84. I'm just going to drink a martini. And I thought, that's great, Mom, because some vodka is probably way better to kill that virus than anything else that's going to, than sticking a needle in your arm, right? And so my mom went to, have a martini every night and then do what she wants. My dad still isolated himself. So finally, my sisters, I said on Father's Day, I go, we're going over there. I don't care what he says. He doesn't have a freaking choice. It's Father's Day. We're going to go over there and tell him we love him. Well, we knocked on the door. He answered the door and he immediately started crying. I'm 60 years old. I've never seen my dad cry, and he started crying. And so, when we're searching for God inside, but we're looking and we're afraid of everything that goes on the outside, and it's not congruent, we're miserable, whether we want to admit it or not. And so many times, when do we turn? When do we want to find God? When we realize I can't do it alone. I don't have all the answers. I don't have a strategy that's going to make me feel that joy. I have stress and anxiety, and I don't know what to do. And then the only thing that seems to be left is what Deepak Chopra says. When outside isn't working, then we turn to inside. So here's the thing. Anytime you're following man, that is not the right strategy. Anytime you're following the world, that is never going to be the right strategy. Anytime that you have a plan that man creates, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, because if it's not aligned with spirit, if it's not aligned with heart, if it's not aligned with the principles of God, then you're going to end up in a place that not that you're going to regret, but it's not going to be fulfilling. So when we do pray, when we do look inside, guess what? When God speaks to you, there's probably not going to be a symphony of trumpets, the harps. You're probably not going to get a whole bunch of angels that descend upon you and surround you, that you can visually see and talk to you. You know, it may not be like that. It may not be total. The earth may not shake, although your emotional traumas could feel earth shaking. And so, you know, when I was going to chiropractic school and I was undergraduate college, I'm like, God, what should I do? I don't know. You know, I was bartending, paying my way through school. I was partying, doing drugs. And I'm like, what should I do? I'm pre-med. I don't want to be an MD. I'm working in a physical therapist office. What do I do? And I got a pamphlet from chiropractic school. And I said, what's this? Chiropractic? I threw it away. Chiropractors don't know anything. I got another pamphlet. You know, chiropractors don't know anything. I got a third pamphlet. And I know my belief system is when I'm praying for an answer and something shows up 3 times, that's God talking to me. So I prayed, I meditated with sincerity from my heart. I got 3 pamphlets. I enrolled in chiropractic school. I had no idea what chiropractic was, but I knew God was telling me. So you may not hear harps. You may not hear trumpets. You may not have all these angels descend upon you. Hey, maybe you will. But a pamphlet changed my life and showed me a life purpose. So what's the truth about finding and experiencing God right now? Well, the first principle is you're a spirit having a human experience. Genesis 1:27. You're created in the likeness and image of God. His spirit is inside you. That's why we got to stop looking outside. Stop looking outside for something outside in when we have an immune system that already gives you 100% immunity. So don't look outside, look inside. When God speaks to you, he's probably not going to yell. God speaks to you in whispers. These are the whispers of your intuition. These are the whispers that you hear in your heart, not in your mind. It's that small voice that's when your mind is quiet that you can hear the whispers. God is found before the noise in the world. What's that mean? When you look out in the physical world is a physical manifestation of collective consciousness. That's the collective consciousness of man creating in the physical world. We have our own individual consciousness that creates our own world, but imagine that God is before the physical world. God is in the space between the noise. He's in the gap between the notes and the music. Now imagine if you can project out and with that perspective see this is all the result of collective consciousness that man created. But God is before the noise. So how do we connect? You have to get quiet. You have to go into the silence. You have to hear the whispers of your innate. So how do you quiet your mind? Well, check this out. Mother Teresa. We need to find God, and God cannot be found in the noise and restlessness. God cannot be found in what's going on in the world. God cannot be found in all these conditions. God is inside you, and he is found in the silence. So let's go through 5 steps. So what's the first step? First, meditate. Meditation and prayer. So what do? You calm your mind. And people say, well, I don't know how to calm my mind. Well, you breathe. You interrupt your mind. You feel your body. You connect with God. You feel your spirit. You feel joy in your body. And then it's almost like when you see a river, imagine a beautiful river in the mountains or the woods. And, you know, there's maybe a log or a brick or something floating by. That's a metaphor for a thought. The river's like all the thoughts, and you see a log float by, but you're not attached to it. Hey, thank you, Dakota. I'm a man of wisdom. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. You are for even seeing that. So what do? Just let it float by. Let those thoughts go by. Don't be attached. Enjoy the process. Breathe and feel your body and get into the space. Now you begin to connect with that presence. And when you're totally vulnerable for anything that comes up, then God will speak to you. Your intuition will speak to you. So make meditation day and night a habit. Psalm 1, meditate day and night. Keep the roots planted by the river. What's that mean? Keep your spirit connected to the spirits of God, and your fruit will bear in its season. Then just give it time. Let God speak to you. Get in the silence. That's number 1. Get in the silence. What's number 2? When you look in the mirror, look in your own eyes. Because what you're doing is you're looking at God expressing as you, the physical form. When you can look in your own eyes and see and feel the presence of God, and you can say, God, I see your presence in me. When you say that, God, I see your presence in me, and you feel that joy, now you can radiate love. Now you have a different level of self-confidence. Now you come from the inside out. So step 2, after you meditate, look in the mirror, say, God, I see your presence in me. Step 3, when you look at your brothers and sisters, when you look at the general public, see them as God consciousness. See them as God expressing in the physical form. Immediately release all attachment. Doesn't matter how they dress, what they say, what they're doing, how they look. It is divine presence expressing in that human consciousness, wherever they are, in their path. That's where they are. Don't even think about it. Just see each person as God presence expressing in the physical form, and you will feel joy. You will feel connected. You will feel unity. Number 4, that's it. Feel joy. 1, meditate, pray. 2, see God's presence in you. 3, see God's presence in every other person, and then feel that joy in your body. And then that's number 4. Number 5, then reach your hand out to help someone else. Matthew 25:40. Whatever you did for the one of the least of these brothers and sisters of mine, you did for me. That's it. Then reach out and help someone. Step out for those who are suffering. When you experience that joy, when you see God in other people, reach your hand out. What you do for one person, you do for all of humanity. What you do for one, you do for all of humanity. That's how we stay connected, because that's where God is. So what do? We meditate, we pray, we get into the silence. 2, we see God in ourselves. God, I see your presence in me. 3, we see God presence in every divine being walking on this physical plane without judgment, without attachment. 4, so we can experience joy inside us. And when we radiate joy from our heart, we get out of our mind, we silence our mind, we move into the love and joy of our heart, and then we reach out to other people. That's where God is. You want to know how to find God? 5 steps. He's already inside you. You can't be disconnected. You can be unaware, but you can never be disconnected, because he is inside you. Let's look from the inside out. Let's not follow man. Let's follow our hearts, and we know what's right. And then let's reach out to other people. Okay, love you guys. Hey, if you want help with this, go to youaremorepowerful.com. Spell it out, Y-O-U-R more powerful, A-R-E, morepowerful.com. And please send this out, because, man, the world is changing fast in ways that are not healthy. They are not good. They are not godlike. But yet, what's happening is God is in everything, and all this will clear out. This too shall pass. So 5 steps, and let's connect with God inside us and radiate that out into the world. Love you guys.